Our next game for tonight is an exciting one. This is Kitten Space Agency, or KSA. So this is the spiritual successor to Kerbal Space Program after the, not going to blame the devs, the publisher, royally screwed over KSP2. And someone who was a longtime fan of the game, who I believe had also put in a bid to make KSP2 before the previous devs were selected, they said, screw it, we're going to make our own. And that is Rocketworks, who are the same devs who make Icarus and Stationeers, both games I've played before. And they are very, very open about their development. They are highly communicative. They have been very publicly posting every single step of the way of their progress of making this game, and it has been a journey to watch from the beginning. And they seem like really great devs. So I'm curious, and I'm excited, and I'm hopeful. We'll see how it goes. So welcome to the KSA Pre-Alpha. The game currently has you controlling craft name Rocket. Press brackets to swap between several available craft. Press C to switch between the camera modes, or hold right-click to pan the camera around. Most UI elements can be repositioned, resized, and hidden. KSA uses fairly traditional craft controls, so it should probably be, WASD, maybe IJKL, that kind of thing. M to toggle between craft and map view. Plan burns, counter solar system, etc. Now, I'm probably going to suck horribly at this. Whether or not the game actually functions, I'm personally going to probably suck horribly at this, because KSP was a serious learning experience for me, and this is probably not going to be any different. But yeah, they've got a lot that they have put into this, so I'm really excited. Period and comma to change time. Ground tracking with F3. Transfer planning with F4. Okay. Version history. A friggin' lot. Like, a lot. And they've already put in so much work in this game. It's just wild. Alright, but it looks friggin' gorgeous. The cloud structure is because Black Rack, the person who did the cloud mods for KSP2 was hired full-time by their team to do the visuals for this game. So they have poached some well-known KSP talent to make the game, and on top of being amazing devs themselves. Okay, so we got WASD is these controls. Okay. Oops, got spinning too hard. Look at the visuals on this though. I mean, it looks phenomenal. Okay, so IJKL is our translation, and then WSAD is our rotation, which is fine. Okay. Null rotation, please. Nice. Nice. Manual thrust. Where's our manual thrust buttons? Do we have manual thrust buttons? Let's do ahead. Let's just get our ship pointed ahead in orbit, which should mean that we can expand out. So this is our current trajectory. We are currently orbiting Earth at some low numbers, 206 kilometers, great. 206 and 207, that's fine. What do we have here? We have orbit of rocket. And then we have orbit of rocket. Orbit of... What the fuck is that? It's multiple names overlapping. What is it? What is that? You know, fuck it, let's go find out. Ah. This is our Kitten Space Agency. These are our kittens for the space agency. And that is the rocket that they were just in. Okay. So we have what appears to be a released escape capsule. Kitten. We have a kitten. Kitten. Hello, kitten. A little bit performance heavy if you zoom really hard in on him, but the fact that pulling out the zoom immediately fixes the performance is pretty remarkable. But yeah, they got a lot of fur on that kitten. Hello, kitten. How are you? Alright, so this was the other rocket. All the sound effects too. What do we got? Settings, audio, graphics. It's running on Vulkan. Wonderful. Seems fine. And they're planning on full mod support. There's already a freaking mod tab. Like, they're planning on going all in on this game. As far as I can tell, they're planning on this being like their next flagship product. And they want it to be the full spiritual successor to KSP. Up to and including the adorable little things. Alright, so can I throttle up? What do we have for throttle up? Where's my throttle up control? We have controls. Throttles. Sim speed. Throttle. Main engine startup is Z. Throttle up is up down, which I think is the arrows. So if we did... Yup. There it is. Okay. Oh. Look at that. How do we get rid of some of the windows? Just to get some visibility going on here. Because this is... Yeah, look at that. It's amazing. It's pretty. I ran out of fuel. No, it turns off the burn while you're in map. Okay. Interesting. Interesting that it turns off the burn when you're in map view. Ooh, hey, I accidentally got a lunar encounter. Now the button for transfer planning. No, okay. How do we do? Ooh. Sure. How do we do maneuver? There we go. Delete burn. Okay. So let's see, can we warp to here? Is there a time warp thing? I don't think we have a time warp to here type mechanism yet. But I know we have time controls, which is sim speed. So that would be the period, comma, speed 0 slash. Let's just test that out before I go all in. Okay, that's good. So we are on our way to encounter the moon. I wonder if they intentionally made this thing ready to encounter the moon, or if I just happened to accidentally encounter the moon. Either are possible. I can't imagine me accidentally getting to the moon this easily. We'll delete burn. So I want to encounter, and then we'll plan a burn at the Perry just to see if we can circularize around Luna. Okay, so we are within spitting distance of the moon. Wonderful. Who's in this rocket, by the way? This might be one of those situations where there isn't a representation of crew and whatnot yet, but this does appear to be a crewed capsule, or a crewable capsule. So it's probably, we're probably just controlling the ship without, and we'll just assume that there's a kitten inside. We're kittens on the moon, we carry a harpoon. Alright, so we need to zoop this down. And we'll zoop it down quite a bit. See if we can get a really close orbit on the moon. That's our burn window. This is our burn time. So this burn warp to burn time. Okay, that would make sense. That would make sense. Okay, so do we have forward, down, row back? I don't see a quick button. Could try the auto. Automatically execute the plan burn. That seems legit. Warp to it. So these are buttons that are slightly different in, I guess, nomenclature than I'm used to from KSP. This is positive and negative control, so this would be positive delta velocity. Nose points towards the burn direction. Up points outside orbit. So these are effectively pointing the ship the direction I want. Unless... yeah, I think that's how that's supposed to work. So if I go back to here, can I push this button? Yeah, I think that's the button I want to push. So let's just hit the, let's just push the auto button. Auto button appears to not be doing anything at the moment. I'm going to push this button because I'm pretty sure that's right. I could be wrong. Because we're currently... oof. How do we... there we go. So we're currently that way. Currently pointing towards the moon. So I think we need the positive delta velocity. Nose points towards the burn direction. That's probably right. Then we got Earth all the way back there. We got the sun over there. Neat. Okay, so we're currently rotating so that as we warp time forward, we should be pointing the correct direction. I think. Probably. So let's try this button. So, sets the flight computer to automatically execute the planned burn. Warp to planned burn time. Ooh, look at that. So this is something that KSP didn't have, which is high-speed ship control in the simulation. So in KSP, higher speed simulations would not allow for ship rotation management and stuff like this. So you would have a ship that, if it had any amount of rotation on it, either depending on if you had a mod installed, the ship would either, like, hardcore start spinning wildly out of control, or the rotation would hard stop and there would be no way to change it while you're warping forward. So, for example, if you had a ship that had a really slow turn speed, and you had a 10-hour window to get to your burn time, you might want that entire 10-hour window to rotate your ship into the right orientation, and you wouldn't be able to do that with higher speed warping. So you'd either be forced to sit there and wait for it real time, or you'd need a mod that allowed you to rotate your ship while warping. Scooby, this is Kitten Space Agency. Brand newly released to the wild publicly within the last hour or so. Demos let me know about it. And I'm so friggin' excited. So that, theoretically, burned me so that we are now we're technically orbiting Luna. So we're going to then burn here. And we're going to tighten up that circle orbit a little bit. And we're just going to auto that and warp it. But yeah, full public early builds of this game. They're not worrying at all about making people buy into it or early access or play tests or anything like that. Just like full on, they're developing it and people can have it while they're developing it. Like they're going all in on nifty plans for this game for sure. Oh, it doesn't like that. It doesn't like that at all. Hang on, I'm not going to do that. I'm just trying to get some window space for screenshots. Because at some point here, we're going to start burning. Oh, hang on. Stop that. Hang on. We need to positive. So this null rotation, negative, positive, you have to have it on positive, I think, because it doesn't seem to want to auto-rotate the ship. It might have done it if I left it alone, but I didn't trust it at the moment. So let's set you to auto. And we'll even set you to warp. I just realized I've been mashing the screenshot button. Hang on. I've been mashing the screenshot button thinking I'm on Steam. I am not on Steam. Do we have a screenshot button? I don't know if we have a screenshot button. Maybe I'll just use Windows. I'll do Windows for now. So we are now circularized orbit around the moon. And that was a piece of cake. I mean, obviously, I lucked out and just happened to do a hard burn towards the right direction to get to the moon. Sorry, moon. Luna. I happened to luck out on that one, but my knowledge of KSP should have been able to get me there if I was actively trying. But just happened to luck out on that. Now, the performance, I'm seeing a little bit of FPS issues, but it's not much. I suspect it would be something like the textures and shadows on the moon here, but it looks freaking gorgeous. It looks phenomenal. It looks like they have done a fantastic job at building this so far. And all the various updates that have happened recently, they've shown all the various parts that they've been building. These ships are obviously built off of existing known parts. I do believe, and I'm not positive, but I do believe they're eventually planning on more of a Kerbal-style fantasy universe. Whereas right now they're using the real moon, the real Earth, the real Jupiter, etc., because we have high-res textures available that they could use for their development. But I believe they are planning on fake planets, sci-fi planets. I don't know how sci-fi they're planning on going. I think they might still be sticking to harder science fiction, science, hard sci-fi, something like that. So I think they're planning on keeping it more in the realism realm, but I don't think they're planning on real Earth and real solar system. But for right now, they're just using these as solid test elements. I don't know what they're planning on for their parts. I don't know if they're planning on sticking with traditional Earth known space agency parts, or if they're going to go a little bit more fantastical with it. Because I know that one of the things that they mentioned in their communications was that they were looking forward to things like interstellar and colonies and stuff like that. And I think they do have grand plans to make those happen. So at some point they're going to have to go with either, theoretical stuff like the Alcubierre drive and stuff like that, or they're going to have to come up with their own theoretical interstellar type stuff. But I'm sure that this is going to be a long journey of development. And it already has been a long journey of development, but they've also been going a lot quicker than I probably ever expected. Just based on where they're at now with what appears to be a fairly playable game. Obviously, we don't have stuff like, ship customization, part building, that kind of stuff that, we know from the Kerbal games, but they're definitely getting there. So what I want to do is I want to pull this in drastically. And you know what? Fuck it. We don't even need. Hang on. We don't even need this. We just need some manual controls. So let's do manual controls. So let's do. Nope. Behind is good. Where's my... Ah, there it is. I was looking all around. It's right down here. Look at my throttle. So we're gonna put the throttle down to low. Look at that. Look at that shit. That's gorgeous. $8,000. So that puts us at a really low orbit, and we might even tighten that up even more. Oh, that's 817 kilometers. I think we can tighten that up even more. Well, it'll be nice. It'll be nice and tight. Here, let's get ready for a screenshot so I can take pictures. Ooh, this might be tight. Okay, there we go. 300. 200. 100? Start with 200. Now, here, I would like to warp to here, please. And let's... Oh, 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 oh. I like that you can do the full rotation and stuff in warp, because then you can just quick yank your ship the opposite direction. That's neat. I like it. Ooh. Apollo 11 landmark. Neat. Okay, so we are just about at here, but let's scoot this to here. Get you warping. It's fucking pitch black back here. So this is where I would want something like Planet Shine, which was a mod in KSP that let you get kind of like an ambient reflection off the planet so you can see in the dark side of the planet. Because this, while probably realistic, is not easy to look at. I can barely tell that there's a ship there. I can block out the stars and that's about it. But yeah, not easy to view. So let's speed up a little bit so we can get at that periapsis here. That'll do nicely. Okay. Fucking pitch black. Nice. Okay, so now we burn in the blackness, and we're bringing our 2,000 kilometer orbit down to probably a circular-ish one something. Although, I am remembering, hang on, this might be a problem. I am remembering Kerbal numbers, but it appears to be like we're fine. This will be fine. Our numbers are pretty low, but it's okay. We're at 158 and 196. So we're still 200 kilometers above the surface of the moon, but it'll be fine. So let's warp to here. Warp to. Come on, give me a thing. Give me a thing. Interesting. It won't give me a thing. It won't let me do a plan node here. Wonder why that is. Alright, we'll just we'll zoom it. Zoom the sky, as they say. Look at that shit. It's freaking gorgeous is what it is. Now, another interesting element that they showed in development, but I don't think is in here yet. It might be somehow. I don't know how yet. But you can move every single element. So every single element you can move to where you need it to be. But I think they also showed undocking your windows and then throwing them on another monitor, so you can have the game free and clean, and then have all your controls elsewhere if you wanted to set up a separate monitor for all of your monitoring. So that'd be kind of neat if that pans out, or if they manage to do that, because that is a feature that I don't think I've ever seen in a game before, and it'd be really neat just because there are so many different windows that you could kind of have to keep an eye on. It would probably be a nightmare for streaming. I don't know how we'd accomplish that, but for just overall playing the game, it'd be really neat. So let's hover forward a little bit. Can we do radial out? We can do radial out's good. Strict altitude control profile, high speed accuracy and propellant burn, balance, relaxed, low speed accuracy and propellant burn. Interesting. I'd be curious to see what a lot of these things mean. I'm sure they're useful for things. Oh, there's my usual progrades. I see. Well, yeah, look at it. Look at this. Look at this. It's freaking gorgeous. I'm really excited. I bet Demos is out there having a friggin' field day. Alright, let's hit you at null. You know what, let's do prograde. Yeah. Exciting. Exciting. And it looks so good. Like, look at that shit. It just looks really good. So let's go visit one of our other ships. Now that we've got this thing nicely parked. Camera chase. Following Hunter. Hunter, you are not in light. Let's get you in light. There's some light. This is our kitten. It'd be nice if we could. Can we rotate our cat? Can you, There we go. Here's our kitten. It's happily floating over Earth, having a grand old time. The Kitten Space Agency has arrived. Now, I am on the fence on the kitten part. The Kerbals had a very specific charm to them. They had the Sims-esque, Simlish dialogue. They had the little green men aspect. They had very much obvious non-human element to it. Now, obviously, this is also not human, but this is an Earth creature. Whereas Kerbals were very clearly not Earth creatures, and you could kind of get away with them being in a non-Earth solar system. They're adorable. I like the kittens, but also at the same time, I don't like the kittens. And I don't really have a specific reason why not, other than I think I preferred the more alien nature of the Kerbals. But since this game will probably be very heavily moddable, I suspect one of the very first things that will be modded in is the Kerbals. So it might be one of those things that we can change fairly quickly and easily. Who knows? So that is our kitten. What else do we have? We have this guy. So this is I think, replication of the one that we had around the moon. Yeah, it's a replication of the one around the moon. Okay. And then we've got this guy, which I'm not entirely sure if it can do anything. No, it can't do anything. It does not have an engine, so this is purely an ejected escape shuttle. And I'm curious what you're expected to do with it, if anything. It might just be purely for just another display piece of what parts they've got. Because I can't even deorbit it. Yeah, it doesn't have anything. So it can rotate, which is great. It can translate, which is great. I mean, if I tried really hard, I could probably use the thrust to deorbit this thing. I feel like that might take a bit of effort, though. Now, this message here, manual rotate thruster controls disabled when auto attitude is active. Now, I did this. I hit the head and change radio out, whatever. But I don't know how to disable it. Disable. Whoop. That was the entire thing. I need that back. Thank you. Detached. Haha! Ooh. Are we back? Is it working? Are we live? Is the game having a heart attack? Is OBS having a heart attack? Oh no. OBS, stop freaking. Oh no. We have 1 frame per second. Exit. Exit. Are we good? Are we good? Okay, there we go. All right, we're alive. That was exciting. Let's just load it up back up again, see if it does better this time. There we go. Okay. 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 We're back. We're back. So, I mentioned the ability to undock the controls. And it works. OBS hates it with a passion. So, I would love to report that. I'm sure they're already aware of it. But I would love to be able to use this feature while streaming. But if it's not usable while streaming, not the end of the world. But yeah, as soon as I detached it, OBS started freaking the crap out, trying to figure out which one it was going to capture. Was it going to capture the game? Was it going to capture the new window that just existed? It didn't know what the hell to do with itself. So it just went into a panic mode, and OBS just hard crashed. So I would love for there to be some method to tackle this. I don't know how. But the feature exists, and it worked when OBS was not exploding. And I was able to put this on my other monitor, and it worked. Very briefly. That was it. Yes, it is kitten treat time. It is kitten treat time. Gizmo, hold still. Hold still. Gizmo, hold still. There we go. Okay. It is kitten treat time, and we will follow the appropriate target while we do our kitten treats. So far, I mean, you've heard many of my thoughts on the game, but so far, it's fantastic. They have done a phenomenal job putting together something that very closely resembles Kerbal Space Program with relatively minimal time. I think they've been working on this for like maybe a year. I'm not really sure. But they've been doing a phenomenal job. They have some really solid talent, and they have some of that talent they have poached from KSP directly, or the high-skilled modding community. They have a very solid grasp on what they want to build as a game and the technical requirements behind it, up to and including, the ability to do ship rotation and thrust and whatnot under higher speeds, higher game simulation speeds, which is something that KSP could never do. They have a solid understanding of all the math behind orbital mechanics. They have hired or have collaborated with professors from various universities. They have done everything right so far, and I am very excited to see where they're going to take this game as it develops. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Really excited. Let's go to. Let's see if we can load. So this is my this one. Confirm. Yeah, so this is my lunar orbit. This is where we were before. I'm just gonna scoot these off to the side because I can't undock them without exploding OBS. Just gonna scoot them. I'm gonna scoot you. Gonna scoot you. Gonna do some more scooching. Let's get some more window space. Oh, you could shrinky dink too. Oh, that's phenomenal. Look at that. Neat. I can shrinky dink the windows. That's wonderful. That's delightful. Can we shrink you? Oh yeah, we can. That's great. Now we can have more window space. Obviously, some of these might be a little bit small for regular usage, but at least for right now, to keep them out of my way so I can take some pretty screenshots. This will do nicely. put you down the corner over here. Okay, that's good. But yeah, we have a Mun orbit. Let's just see if we can land on the moon. It's not gonna be easy, because I suck. But we're gonna try it. Also, we don't have any actual landing legs or anything like that, so we'll be landing on the cone. It's fine. Alright, so let's do we want to do retrograde. So we'll rotate retro. We'll up throttle a little bit. Now, we also don't seem to have fine throttle control. Every time I hit the throttle, it goes up, down by random numbers. 11, 21, 31, 41. Okay, it's sometimes doing 10, sometimes doing 9 or 11, which is weird. But this is fine. We'll see if we can wing it. So let's see about putting a critter on the moon. I wish we could thrust while in the map, because sometimes it's really important to be able to have that level of control while on the map. But for some reason they bound our thrust controls to vertical map control, which is a little bit weird. Okay, so we're gonna try this. I was kind of trying to aim for that crater, but I don't have an intuitive sense of which direction I need to point to fix that, so we're just not gonna fix it. It's probably like normal or anti-normal or whatever. Let's try anti-normal just to see if that's the right one. And we'll throttle down a little bit. Might be the wrong direction. Let's try normal. I don't know how we can go about visiting the other planets right now. We might be able to with transfer stuff, so maybe we'll try a transfer to maybe Jupiter? Scott Manley's asteroid, nice. Yeah, I remember them mentioning Scott Manley's asteroid, because I think Scott Manley actually did discover a real asteroid. I think this is his asteroid that he discovered. So they put it in there as a discoverable point. Let's throttle up a little bit more. Yeah, that's where I want to be. So normal was the right answer. In this case, normal equals up. Okay, so we're currently aiming for Copernicus crater, which is fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to time warp until we're, I don't know, like here-ish, and just hard burn. Also, we'll want to go retrograde. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit the crater, but we're going to try. So that's the crater coming up. And if I start thrusting now, we'll just do a gentle burn for right now. Okay, we need a harder burn. Yeah, this is the one thing I would recommend they fix, is being able to thrust while in the map. Just because it's really handy to be able to watch your descent and your orbit velocity or your orbit lines and stuff like that, just to see what level of control you're doing. I mean, we're aiming for the crater. Let's zoom it forward a little bit. Yeah, here we go. I was doing a hard simulation. So yeah, that's why I was trying to hit the impact, start it like way earlier, because I was almost gonna stop too soon on the crater. Let's speed up our simulation a little bit more. Okay, so we're gonna need to drop our burn a little bit. Look at us go. Look at us go. We're in the process of landing on a Mun crater. And it looks like it's going to go well. We're going to fall over, but whatever, it's fine. So my speed's up here. We're coming in at 60 meters per second and climbing. I love this readout right here. Current thrust to weight ratio. That's phenomenal. So I can be at 5% thruster, or 5% throttle, and I can see that I've got 4.7 TWR, so I've got more than enough to continue slowing down. The kitties are gone. We are currently at 2 times sim speed, so we'll drop down to real. Coming in. Yeah, I ended up hitting the slope of the crater a little bit, which is unfortunate. Oops. So we don't have damage physics yet, which is fine. Perfectly fine. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, kind of bounced a little bit. I probably should have turned off this so that we didn't have the that happening, but it's fine. There we go. Nailed it. Nailed it. So clearly there's still some Mun landing stuff that they need to take care of. Some of the landing physics. Having actual landing legs would be wonderful. But for all of the physics to get here, the transfer windows, the burn planning, the warping to your burn, the auto burn, the ability to get down to the surface with minimal hassle, smooth as butter, absolutely gorgeous. So we're just gonna screenshot this. We're gonna park this one here. We're gonna go do one of the other ones. So this one, let's see if we can try that transfer window, transfer planner. Home and transfer to Jupiter. Do it. Do it. This is something that was never in KSP either. You can get some basic like delta V planning information, but being able to actually do a full transfer plan was always something you needed to install, like MechGen for. Or some other mod in KSP to get a proper transfer window planner. And even then, they were a little bit sketchy. You couldn't always do, you know, like multiple burn plans or anything like that. So I'm curious if this does multiple burn plans. So, like, can we slingshot off the Mun, for example? Okay, what do we got? Okay. Depart times in 196 days. Transit time is 1,000 days. Velocity is closest approaches. Preview. Selected transfer. Flight plan. I see multiple orbit patches. This is good. Okay, so start time, end time. It's like a full day of burn, according to that number. Or is that time spent in that orbit patch? I don't know. End transition, or start transition burn, end transition escape. Body. Ah, what is this? Tisa with the raid. Hello, Tisa and friends. Ooh. Message from Dear Imgui. Programmer error. Okay, that's fair. How's it going, Tisa? According to this is the orbit of Sol. So this is going from Earth's orbit to Sol's orbit, which is great. And then 3.5+ years to get to Jupiter. And then Jupiter. And then escape. So we'd have to capture within Jupiter as well? Interesting. How do we do it now? How do I make it go? just make it go. How do I make it go? This is not KSP. This is KSA. Kitten Space Agency. This is a whole brand new game that just launched to a public playtest kind of deal. And this was made by Rocketworks, who did Icarus and Stationeers. And they were very mad about the whole situation with KSP2 and the publisher that just kind of ruined that game. So they just said, screw it, we'll make our own. So they have done a phenomenal job so far at making their own. Only thing I don't know about this transfer window is if I can create. Can I make it go? This isn't where I want it to be. Man. How do I make you go? Gemini 7, right? Yeah, we're on Gemini 7. Okay. Earth. Escape. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So Gemini 7. Just do it. Can you just do it? Auto go. It may have just had a panic attack when I hit the auto warp go. It may just have crashed. So the situation with KSP2 is they made the game, they put it out into early access, they promised a lot of features like interstellar travel and colonization, that kind of stuff. And they got as far as making the game and doing the science release. So we had science exploration. Oh. It's attempting to go. It is attempting to do things. it's fine. And then the publisher, which was Take-Two, silently canned the entire development team and shut down the office. Were very sketchy about the reasoning and the explanation, and they still have yet to acknowledge that the game is dead. They never took it down from Steam. They never made any announcements that the game is dead. They never did anything. Now, since then, and that was a while ago. Since then, they have sold the IP for KSP to another company. I don't know all the details, and there has been yet no news about the new company having any plans to continue KSP, or if they're just going to sit on it as an IP and continue to rake in money from the sales. There's no news, but that's the assumption, is that they're just going to sit on the IP and rake in money from the sales, residuals, whatever's left. So since KSP2 was never officially announced as dead, the assumption is KSP2 is dead. There's been no updates, there's been no news, there's been no nothing. I think what's happening here is it was something like 300 to 500 days for my transfer window. So I think it's on a stupidly high warp speed to get to that transfer window, and it's rendering it in minutes per frame rather than frames per second. So I'm just trying to wait it out to see if it's going to do it eventually, because we're currently in the top corner. We're still only on 3 days, 11 hours, 19 minutes, and those minutes are not taken by quickly. So my guess is it's not doing it well. I can see the sun and the horizons changing, so we are definitely traversing the planet, but I can't tell what it's doing. So I just want to kind of let it sit for a bit and see what it do. But if this time is accurate, we are not passing game time very quickly. Can I stop it from warping? I can stop it from auto warping, or I can stop it from auto burning, but I don't think I can stop it from warping unless I hit this button. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So my guess is that it was doing some sort of crazy amount of simulation. Now, I would love to figure out how to get it to stop doing the thrusting. How do I get it to stop? Let's just do null rotation, see if that helps. But yeah, as you can see here, they have so far done a fantastic job at recreating the look and feel of KSP, and probably well beyond. I think this probably looks already significantly better than KSP2 looked at the time of the kerfuffle. Let's call it the kerfuffle. So I think they are on track to make a spectacular game. Just looking at some things over here. Now, if we, oops, wrong button. If we warp 120 and it starts to FPS dip a little bit. If we do 600, it starts chunking real hard. So yeah, this is one of those situations where it's probably the planet itself causing this problem. So if we were to Let's do prograde, and let's see if we can just burn ourselves out of this a little bit. Yeah, we'll just, Ooh, that's a hell of a... That's a hell of a thing. For whatever reason, I can't do transfer nodes anymore, so let's just do this. We'll warp to here. Oh, that was a mistake. Maybe we won't warp to there. Game? Come back. I think it's attempting to calculate how much warp speed it needs, which may be a problem. Because yeah, this burn is still in 196 game days, so or 192 game days. So we did not make it very far. Are we back again? I think we're back again. All right, we are back again. This is fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, I swear. So, I think actually, I wanted to come back just to say bye. But basically, I need to end my night because we're late. It's late. We've had some fun, and this is a nice little first look at the Kitten Space Agency. Again, it holds a massive amount of promise, and I am really looking forward to continuing to follow this journey to see where they take this game, because they have outdone themselves pretty spectacularly, even with the problems fully expected of what is effectively a blind early access release, and it's more like a public playtest kind of deal, and yeah, it's looking fantastic. So we're just gonna zoop a little bit. Let's get rid of some windows. Just get rid of all the windows. Here, let's just do it this way. Oh, it'd be nice if we could do multiple at a time, but this is cool. We're just gonna do this. We're gonna do some of this. Multiple cameras. I mean, they've already covered so many of the bases. It's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. But we landed on the moon. We followed a kitten in space. We did some all sorts of good stuff. In fact, let's go to the kitten. The kitten. There you go. Look at those little feet wiggles. So this will be it for Kitten Space Agency. We will occasionally come back and view the progress of this game, and just follow it in general to see how it do. Especially whenever there's a major update or a major change to the game, like if they, for example, if they add in the ability to make your own rockets, we'll come back in and we'll tinker with the rocket building, that kind of stuff. If they add in, full landing and crash physics and stuff, we'll probably do that, that kind of stuff. Whenever they do something big and significant, we'll take a look at it. But for right now, I'll be done for the night. I know my stream crashed a couple times dealing with this game. That's fine. I will report those issues, or at least see if someone else has reported them. And then, yeah. That'll be it for tonight. So, Isaacs, Tisa, Scooby, Ducks, Iron Ninja, Shazak, anyone else who is lurking out there despite my stream continuously crashing. Thank y'all for joining. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.